Hello again, students. It's once again time to explore another country and find out what music really makes that, or really is popular from that country. So, we're here at Soulsbyville School again. Why don't we zoom out? You can see the whole school, big toy, little field, big toy, or big field. Let's start zooming out because we're going to leave the United States again on a field trip and find another country and listen to their music. So here we go. United States, where we are, and California. You can see that little teeny tiny dot where we would be right there. So where are we going? Well, today we are going south, and we already did Mexico a couple lessons ago. We're going to keep going even more south. We're even going to leave North America. Remember, North America is Mexico, the United States, and Canada up here. We're going to go even farther than Central America. Central America are these countries right here that connect between the North America and South America. So all these ones in between Mexico and Colombia right here are Central America. And we're going to South America. Let's take a look at what South America looks like. There it is. So let's go back to where we were. Here's us, teeny tiny dot in California in the United States. Going south of Central America, here is South America. And I want to show you one more thing. We have to go into normal map mode. Here's our equator. That's the center of the planet, right in the middle. Generally where most of the your warm countries are. Right here on the equator. And generally the farther away you get from the equator, the colder it gets. So if we keep going north, that's why we associate Canada with being so cold, so far away from the equator. And this country we're going to is far south of the equator. We're going to Argentina in South America. So when we look at some of these pictures, you're going to notice there's a lot of snow. And remember, the farther south we get away from the equator, the colder it gets. And we can look right down here in the South Pole. Remember, the poles, North and South Pole, are some of the coldest parts of the planet. So let's keep going. Let's look at Argentina. And we can look at how big and long Argentina is. It's all of this land. It's a very big country. So why don't we click on Argentina and we can be tourists and look at some of these photos. And there we go. Right off the bat, we can see there's some snow. Looks rather cold. But remember, not all of it. It is a very long country, so northern parts of Argentina aren't going to be as cold as the southern parts. Looks like a beautiful country. Look at that nature. I would love to get out there and explore. But let's take a look and learn about the music we're learning about Argentina today. And a lot of people will know this name. The music we're exploring today from Argentina is called tango music. And most people hear tango, they hear dancing because tango is most associated with dancing. And tango came from Buenos Aires, and that is a city inside of Argentina. We can look, it's right on the ocean, which means it is we can find some ports, a port city. And port cities generally do a lot of trading. That means sending out stuff, bringing in stuff, and selling it and buying it. And when that happens, a lot of people tend to sail in and out, which means a lot of people from foreign countries came to Buenos Aires from all over the world. And remember, we learned with our Mexico episode, when people come from all over the world, they tend to bring their culture and their music and their food and everything, and we kind of mix it all together with whatever the local music or food or culture is. So when people from all over the world were sailing into Buenos Aires, we had a lot of different musics mixed together. And what came out of this port city of Buenos Aires was tango. And tango, like I said, is a danced music. It's known for being danced to, dancing the tango. So let's take a look at some tango dancers. To notice as they're dancing, we can hear the steady beat, and steady beat is what helps dancers stay in time. If we were singing a song like Mary Had a Little Lamb, Mary Had a Little Lamb, we have the steady beat. Mary had a little lamb. Remember, steady beat never changes. I want to see if you can listen to the music and hear the steady beat. Can you hear it? It's a fast one. Or a slow down steady beat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, Now, you may be able to hear some of them. We're going to see them in a little bit, but the earliest instrumentation, that's the instruments in the band, in the tango band, were violins, guitars, and flutes. I want to see if you can hear some. There is no flute, but there is definitely a violin in there, and there is definitely a guitar. And I want to see if you can hear an accordion. You may not know what this instrument is, but accordion came out about a little bit later than the tango accordion. Is called a bandoneon. And we're going to take a look at that in a second, but let's finish this out and see if you can't hear those instruments. Those are talented dancers to be able to move like that and make it look so easy. Now, came out of Buenos Aires, the tango, but that was a long time ago. This was 1800s. We're talking, more than 100 years ago. So the reason we still talk about it is in large part due to a man called or named Astor Piazzolla. And he went to go study music in Paris. This was a little over 50 years ago. And at this time, tango was still Argentina's music. You think of Argentina, you think of tango. But the reason we still talk about it was, in big part, because of Astor Piazzolla. And he went all the way to France. If this will load in, we can see France here. And studied in Paris, studied music. And one of his professors, that's a college teacher, one of his professors said, you should really be writing music of your home country. So he decided from then on that he was going to be writing music from his home country of Argentina. He was going to expand and keep writing for tango music. And so he did. And the cool thing about him being around not so long ago is we still have video of him playing his music that he wrote. So let's take a look at Astor Piazzolla, and he's playing that bandoneon accordion that I was talking about earlier. And this is music he wrote himself. Let's take a look. He is. And he's playing that bandoneon accordion. There's lots of different types of accordions, but let's watch him play. You can see both hands have buttons on each side, and he's playing. He has to push it in and out for it to work. And you're going to learn why in just a little bit. Take a little bit more of a look at this, the accordion. I'm going to show you a little bit of the accordion by playing the accordion. I own an accordion. It's not a bandoneon accordion, but it is an accordion. So we can learn a little bit about that. And we're going to switch over to one last video that Astor Piazzolla also wrote, and it's his most famous one. But let's learn a little bit about the recorder before we go there. Hey students, I'm here to talk to you about the accordion, which of course gets used a lot in tango music, which we're learning about. And it's an instrument we don't get to see very often, and I find it a really cool and kind of fascinating instrument because there's not a lot of instruments like it. But you may see something on here that looks pretty familiar. And if you said it was this, you'd be correct. It looks a lot like a piano, right? And that's because it is. It is a piano. Well, I mean, it's the same setup as a piano. We have, if you'll notice, black keys on top and white keys on the bottom. And if you look at a piano at home, or maybe we can take a field trip over to a piano over here, you'll notice it also has black keys and white keys. So if you're a piano player, you already know how to play this thing because it's the same thing. But how's it making a sound? Because if you look, there's no power cord going to it, so it's not an electric instrument. And I'm just pushing the keys. Like on a piano, when I push a key, there's a little hammer inside that hits a string. Did you notice I keep pushing this in and out? That's because this right here is called a bellows. And just like a normal bellows, it works in the same way. You may have seen, kind of looks like you may have seen in old cartoons, or maybe in a movie where they have that big fan looking thing and it shoots air out. And that's called a bellows too. Same thing. It has a bunch of air inside. And when I push a button, it lets the air out through what are called reeds. And on one of the other classroom music episodes that we did, we learned about this, which is a reed. This is a clarinet reed. And when I play it, push air through, it makes a sound. And it works in the same way in here. We just can't see it because it's all built inside right here. So there's a ton of different reeds, one for each one of these. And there's actually a second set if I want to make it sound really low. And they're all on the inside, we just can't see them. So they look like that. On the other side, we have all these buttons. What will happen if I push down one of these? Let's find one. If I push down another one, so I'm pushing two down. So this side plays what are called chords. And chords on the accordion, actually, sorry, on any instrument, are more than one note. So here's one note. I'm just going to push down one. But if I push down two, that is a chord. A chord is any two notes or more put together. Technically, this is a chord too. It's just not going to sound good. Because that's more than one note playing together. This is not a chord because it's just one note. This is a chord. And I can add as many as I want. But that takes a lot of fingers, right? So what they did was, this is for playing your melody. Maybe I wanted to play Mario over here, but I want chords to happen over here. Kind of lets us do stuff like... something together. So I can play the melody over here and the chords over here. So I can do my chords over here. I can play my notes over here, and it's all made possible because on the inside we have these reeds, and they don't look like this. They're smaller reeds, and they're put up on these little teeny tiny looking boxes, and when I push down one of these keys, it opens up a hole and lets the air through. Now what happens if I don't push or pull on this thing? Nothing happens. That's because I need to be pushing or pulling air. So I'll start pulling. Here we go, I'm pulling now. And if I pull less hard, it makes it quieter. If I pull really hard, it makes it really loud. And the same opposite. If I push very lightly, it's going to be very quiet. I'm going to pause it because somebody's talking outside. All right, we're back. So I'm going to play that same song again. I'm going to show you all three things that accordion players are doing because they're doing three things at once to make a song. So I'm playing the melody over here. I'm playing the chords. Ooh, this is hard playing sideways. And of course I'm pushing and pulling in and out on the bellows. And if I'm not pushing anything down, obviously it doesn't make a sound. So I'm playing here, and the bellows are being pumped, pushing in and out. Let me play that same song. See if you can see all that happening at once. Instrument, a lot going on, so it takes a lot of practice. I'm going to leave you with one more thing. I'm going to play another song, and we're going to learn a form of music. And forms are different like setups for music. It's almost like different models of cars. They all work in a little bit different way. So I'm going to play a waltz right now. And a waltz is something that's usually danced to. Not always, though. This one's kind of a sit back because it's kind of like a sad waltz. And waltzes are always in 3. Hear it. It sounds 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I'm going to play a little bit for you. Our sad waltz, and you can hear the in 3. Here we go. Sad waltz. Sound a little sad, right? Did you hear the... In 3 of a waltz. A waltz is in 3. This is our accordion, and the bellows, the chord side, and the piano side. So, hope you learned something about a new instrument today. All right, welcome back. So we're going to look at Piazzolla's most famous piece, Libertango. And this is another tango, but what he kind of started doing was writing music that wasn't necessarily supposed to be danced to. So at times in this, we are not going to have a steady beat. If you try and find it, it's just not there. It's mostly in the introduction. And the famous composer Stravinsky once said that there's 2 types of music. There is music that is danced to, and there is music that is not danced to. And the beginning parts of this this particular song is not really meant to be danced to. There is no steady beat. But we're getting into the second half that is supposed to be danced to. We can find that steady beat. So let's listen. It's going to be between our guitar player and our accordion player. And they're mostly playing back and forth between each other. I almost imagine them talking between each other. There's no steady beat, and they're kind of improvising. We learned about that last time. Let's take a listen. I want you to watch his fingers as he plays. It makes it look so effortless, but to be able to pluck with all 5 fingers while moving up and down on the fretboard so fast is so difficult. It reminds me of the dancers we were just watching. They make everything look so effortless when it is so difficult. It takes a lot of practice to get this good. You may notice that his accordion's different from the one I had. This side's the same, the chord side, but this side is not a piano. When we look closer, it's a bunch of buttons. So there's a different type of accordion. So take a look. Have you noticed that there is no steady beat right now? If you were to clap along with the song, you just can't find it because it does not exist yet. Interrupt, but did you notice we now have a tempo? I want you to see if you can, we now have a steady beat. Can you find that steady beat? again, I hate to interrupt, but you can imagine somebody dancing to this now. That's because our steady beat is here. See if you can hear that, the steady beat. Go, students. That is tango music. It's from Argentina in South America, and it's some of the most passionate dance music that you can hear. So cool. Love tango. Wish to visit Argentina someday, and I hope you guys liked it as much as I did. So I will see you for the next one.